gonna talk about my experience being the new girl. Um, all right, so I'm gonna talk about like moving and then cheerleading and my friends in the school and like the differences and all that. Um, so first, I'm gonna start talking about moving. When I first moved, I was really like head on. Like I was like, I'm gonna move, I'm gonna go to a new school, I'm ready for this because I left my dad. I used to live with my dad, and then I went to go move in with my mom, and it was kind of a hard decision to make, but it also wasn't. Like I knew that I needed to try something new and move in with my mom, so I did it for me personally. And my dad wasn't very happy with the fact that I moved, but and moving up here, I remember that I was really nervous to move, but I wasn't. And so I kind of just like went with it. And I didn't really think about the fact that when I moved up here, I didn't really have any friends. Like my mom and my sister and my stepdad have been up here for like 7 years, and I hadn't. And I'd been coming up here like every other weekend, something like that. And I still, like, I didn't know anyone. I didn't go out enough to know people because it's a small town that I live in. I'm not going to say what the town is, but it's a really small town. And it was just hard not knowing anyone in this town. So, cheerleading. Well, with cheerleading, it was really weird because to be able to talk to my activities director, I had to talk to someone who I knew. I knew one person coming into the school, and so I asked that person, I was like, how do I get a hold of the activities director? And he said, well, you can either go to the school or you can text him. I have his number. And I was like, text him? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oof. So he gave me the number and I texted him, but like when I was texting him, it felt really weird because at my old school, like that's so unprofessional. Like you're supposed to email. That's why you have a school email. And so I asked the AD, I was like, can I just get your email? Because I feel really weird like texting a school like directive. And he was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. So he gave me his email and I emailed him and I was like, what's the cheerleading coach's email? And so he told me, and I emailed the cheerleading coach. And then she told me like when I could start and all that. And of course, like that day at practice, she talked to the other girls who were in cheerleading, and she was like, we're gonna have a new girl, you can look up her on Facebook and all that. And so I got a bunch of friend requests on Facebook that day of people who were in cheerleading. They were like, hey, I hear you're the new girl in cheerleading, that's so exciting. And I was like, yeah, yep, that's me. And I remember talking to the coach, and she told me like to go in on this day because it would be picture day. So I was ready to go in, and I was kind of nervous like when we got to Glencoe because I go to school in Glencoe. GSL Panthers represent. And it was really weird because when I first got there, I got out of my mom's vehicle and I was like walking down a walkway and I saw three girls and they just knew right away. They were like, oh, that's her. And they were like, Shyla, and they were freaking out, and I was like, holy cow. Like they were so hyped, and it was a lot. Like I'm not a very woo kind of person if I don't know someone. So it was a lot. And then after that, I went to go do pictures, and then I went home. And as like time went on in the school year, and I was in cheerleading, I kind of like started to feel bad. I don't know if any of you have ever seen like Bring It On. Like I love cheerleading movies, and I kind of like stopped doing cheerleading because of the fact that like doing it made me feel like I was cheating on my old team, and I miss them so much, and I wish I could go stunt with them. And all the cheerleaders at GSL, they just started learning how to stunt, and they look amazing, and their homecoming routine, they killed it. It was so good. Oh my goodness, I cannot get over it. But I do miss New Ulm cheerleading, and I don't know, it kind of sucks, but it was good. So, and then eventually I ended up like quitting cheerleading because I felt bad, and it just, personal decision, it just made me feel like I was doing something against my old cheerleading team and my girls from that team, so I felt bad and I dropped out of cheerleading. And then I ended up doing the mascot for our homecoming, and oh my lord, I have never sweat so much in my life. Oof. And then there was this one kid, they did this thing, like at my old school we do battle of classes, which is normal, sorry, that was like our scent thingy, yeah, it's weird. But at our old school we did battle of classes, and it's basically where you do a bunch of activities and you go against each other, like all the grades do, and when we were doing it, they did this thing at GSL where people would go headfirst in a sleeping bag and try to like worm across the floor. Well, this one like 9th grader, they were taking forever, and I was like, well, what the heck, I'm in a Panther costume, nobody knows it's me, I might as well just do it. So I grabbed her legs and I drug her across the gym floor, and I was like, you are taking too long. So I drug her, and I kept dropping her legs, because when you have 4 fingers in a mascot costume, it is so hard to do anything. And I always thought, I was like, oh, mascots have it so easy. It's not a problem. I can do it. Nope. Never doing that again. I hate sweating, and I hate running, and I had to do both of them. So I won't do it again. Okay, so with school, I was really nervous when I first started school, but like as time went on, I was like, okay, this is okay, I can do it. And at open house for school, I met a guy named Blake, and he is actually like my best friend, and everyone's like, oh, I'd ship it, and I'm just kind of like, what does that mean?
But I definitely know what that means.
But no, when I first started, my first day, he like would take me to every class, and he'd show me where like whatever I needed or wherever I had to go was, and it was really nice because the fact that I didn't really know anyone and I didn't have anyone else to help me with that, like it helped out a lot. And Jasmine keeps moving her foot because there's a fly on her leg. It's wonderful. But that is about the school, and it's very, very tiny, which is weird because there was like 900 kids in my old school, and there's like 500 at this one. So yeah, that's GSL.